Hello sports fans, it is Wednesday, April the 3rd, the year 2013, and as usual, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. Before we get into our NBA Weekly State of the Union, let's go through some scores of note from last night. Let's start Major League Baseball. Let's start with the Texas-Houston game, where Texas's Yu Darvish was 1 out away from a perfect game before he gave up a single to the Houston Astros. Yu Darvish was spectacular last night, striking guys out left and right. He was unhittable. His command was awesome. He didn't walk a guy the whole game. This was complete heartbreak. I thought he was going to get the perfect game, but how often do we see it? There's 2 outs in the ninth, and the perfect game with a no-hitter is broken up. Same thing happened last night. Complete heartbreak for Yu Darvish, but he pitched an awesome game last night. He was just on fire on the mound. After he gave up the hit, the Texas Ranger manager came out and pulled him from the game. He got a tremendous ovation from the crowd there in Houston. There was a lot of Texas Ranger fans in the house. So Yu Darvish, spectacular last night. Although it ends in a little bit of heartbreak, he loses a perfect game with 2 outs in the ninth. He was spectacular, though. I hope you guys caught that performance. Also in Major League Baseball last night, Baltimore beat Tampa, Cleveland beat Toronto, Colorado beat Milwaukee, St. Louis beat Arizona, Seattle beat Oakland, and the Giants shut out the Dodgers. I think every road team in Major League Baseball last night won. Not one home team won in Major League Baseball, so that's strange right there. All right, moving over to the NBA, the Knicks last night went into Miami and beat the Heat. Remember, no LeBron, no Wade last night, so let's keep it in perspective. Knicks, though, are playing much better, have won 9 in a row, and how about Carmelo Anthony last night? 50 points on absolute fire. He couldn't miss last night. Let's keep the game in perspective, though. No LeBron, no Wade. Knicks get the win last night. Also last night out in Los Angeles, the Lakers just bombed Dallas. Dallas is finished. Dallas had to have this game. They are now 2 games back with about 7 to go, and they have no tiebreakers. Dallas is done. They got blown off the court last night. Dallas showed me absolutely nothing last night. They are a terrible road team, and they showed it last night. Nowitzki looks old. I mean, he's still a good player, but he's not that spectacular, great player that can do it every night. He has his moments, but he looks like he's on the other side of his career now. It's hard to believe Dallas won the title just 2 years ago. They look so different. I mean, no Chandler on the team. I mean, Nowitzki looks old now. Just such a different feel in Dallas. They are done. Portland is done. The battle for the 8th seed is now between the Lakers and Utah. Lakers get a nice win last night. Also, they retired Shaquille O'Neal's jersey at halftime. The Laker fans gave him a great ovation. Well deserved. Shaquille O'Neal was one of the all-time greats, won a bunch of titles for the Lakers. I mean, they were showing some highlights when Shaq was in his prime. He was a freight train, an unstoppable force. 2-3 guys on him, and he just dunk over them. An impossible guy to officiate as well. You never knew whether to call a charge or a foul with him. The thing about Shaq is, you figure a guy that size and weight wouldn't be able to move. He wouldn't be athletic. For his size and weight, he was incredibly athletic. That's what made him so scary. Imagine trying to cover him. I mean, he was like a freight train coming at you. That's why they called him the Diesel. Much deserved that he got his jersey retired by the Lakers. He goes up there with all the all-time greats in Lakerland. Also last night, Phil Jackson was part of the ceremonies. He got a great hand as well, so that was nice to see. Nice event there for the Lakers last night, and they cap it off with the big win over Dallas. So that was kind of some of your stuff in the NBA. Over to your NHL we go. Boston beat Ottawa. The Islanders beat Winnipeg. The Islanders are right there for the playoffs. The Islanders, Devils, and Rangers, all the locals, battling for that 8th spot. It should be wild down the stretch here in hockey. Washington beats Carolina. Washington hanging on to their playoff hopes. Carolina looks like they're finished. I don't think Carolina's going to make the playoffs. I am shocked by this. I thought Carolina was going to be a surprise team this year. They've had a ton of injuries. I thought they'd hang in there. They don't seem to be putting anything together. They are slipping further and further behind the playoff race. I don't think they're going to make it. Also last night, Buffalo went into Pittsburgh and ended the Penguins' big winning streak. Listen, we knew this winning streak had to end soon. We figured it would be this week. No Crosby, no Letang. The Penguins have a bunch of guys banged up. You can't win every game. Buffalo does beat them last night. I guess Buffalo still has hopes for the playoffs, but I don't trust Buffalo. I mean, they could win 3, then lose 6 in a row. They have no consistency whatsoever. They do get a nice win in Pittsburgh, though, last night. And Phoenix beat Los Angeles late night as well. As far as your NIT last night, In college basketball, Baylor beat BYU and Iowa beat Maryland. So your final at Madison Square Garden for the NIT is Baylor against Iowa. You know, that is a strange matchup in Madison Square Garden. What kind of crowd are they going to get? The NIT Finals is in the heart of New York City at Madison Square Garden. Baylor, Iowa. Strange matchup. We'll see what kind of crowd they get for that. Also, your women's Final Four is set. UConn, Notre Dame, Cal, and Louisville. That is your women's Final Four. Also, real quick, I wanted to touch on this story from Rutgers. I don't know if you guys saw this story about Mike Rice, the men's basketball coach over there at Rutgers. Did you see the video on this? Mike Rice is on video just belittling his players, cursing at them, using every sort of foul language known to man. But not only that, throwing basketballs at them, pushing them, kicking them, grabbing them, just deplorable stuff. I mean, I cannot believe after I saw this that Mike Rice has a job. I mean, this investigation has been going on since last summer. The athletic director for Rutgers has seen the video, yet he decided to keep Mike Rice as coach. He suspended him 3 days, but he kept him on as coach. I mean, I don't know who's worse here, Mike Rice for doing it or the athletic director for keeping him as coach. To me, they both have to go today. Not tomorrow, not Friday, not over the weekend. Today. They both get fired today. Mike Rice can go, and you know what? The athletic director can go too, because he allowed this guy to stay. This is the guy you want representing Rutgers. Rutgers, a prestigious university over there in New Jersey. This is who you want representing you. This is who you want as your men's college basketball coach. A guy that's kicking your players, belittling your players, throwing basketballs at them, pushing them around. You can't keep a guy like this on. And the Rutgers athletic director goes, well, it's a one-time offense. A one-time offense? He's seen on the video multiple days and multiple times doing it. It's not like he just pushed a guy once like the Cal coach Montgomery pushed a player. You know, that's a one-time offense. This was multiple incidents that kept going on and on and on. I am shocked that Mike Rice is still the coach, and I'm shocked that the athletic director kept him. Also, Eric Murdoch, who is an assistant coach under Mike Rice. Eric Murdoch used to play college ball, used to play in the NBA. Eric Murdoch went to the athletic director at Rutgers a while ago and told him what Mike Rice was doing. And Eric Murdoch ends up getting fired. Eric Murdoch, the assistant coach, ends up getting fired probably because he was snitching on the head coach. I mean, Rutgers will deny that, but what other reason could they give you for firing Eric Murdoch? I mean, so he's got a lawsuit now against Rutgers. I mean, so Eric Murdoch, the assistant coach, goes to the athletic director, tells him what Mike Rice is doing, and Murdoch gets fired. The athletic director then sees this video, decides to keep Mike Rice on as coach. I mean, who's worse here, Rice or the athletic director? To me, they both go today. Rice goes today, and the athletic director of Rutgers goes today. They both need to go. I'd be shocked if Mike Rice survives, because now that this video is out there, and people like LeBron James are commenting on it, and Ray Allen, even the governor of New Jersey is commenting on it, there is no way this guy can last. No possible way. And what did Rutgers think was going to happen when this video was going to come out? That no one was going to talk about it? I mean, what was the reason for keeping this guy on? I mean, was it because they didn't want to pay his contract and pay another coach? It has to be some bizarre reason. Whatever the reason is, it's not a good one. Mike Rice should be fired today, and the athletic director can go with him, as far as I'm concerned. Deplorable that Rutgers would allow this to go on. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Let's move on to our NBA State of the Union. Let's start in the East. I'll tell you, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. I mean, we don't have much time to go in the NBA. It's now or never for these teams fighting for the 8th spot, fighting for position, fighting for divisions. Got to do it now. Let's start in the East, 15-1. Number 15, Charlotte. They are 17-57. I mean, I've been trying to stay positive with Charlotte. I mean, I guess they could get the number 1 pick in the draft. Maybe they get a good draft pick. McRoberts is playing well. I mean, I'm trying to say something positive about Charlotte. McRoberts, believe it or not, the last few games is playing well. That's about all I can find positive with Charlotte right now. Number 14, Orlando, 19-56. Maybe they win the lottery again. They've been lucky in the lottery. I mean, they got the lottery, got Shaquille O'Neal, got Dwight Howard. Yeah, they end up going to the Lakers years later, but they still won the lottery. Maybe they get lucky again. Number 13, Cleveland. They are 22-51. Irving is back. I thought he would miss the rest of the regular season. He did come back. no defense in Cleveland. They play absolutely no defense, and now the players are starting to talk about Byron Scott. That's not a good sign. Byron Scott, he did not sign up for this. When Byron Scott took the job, he thought LeBron James was going to come back to Cleveland. That was the summer LeBron had the decision, and he goes to Miami. Byron Scott was left holding the bag, holding this complete mess. Byron Scott did not deserve this. He didn't think he was getting this Cleveland team. He thought he was getting the LeBron James team. So Byron Scott, a raw deal. Now the players are starting to talk about him. Just a mess there in Cleveland. They do have Irving to build around. They're going to get another high draft pick. So we'll see what they can do in the future, Cleveland. Number 12, Detroit, 22-50. 1 win in March. Do I need to say any more? Number 11, Toronto, 27-47. They have fallen apart. They're 2-8 last 10. When they first got Rudy Gay, they were playing well. They've been falling apart since. They are playing atrocious ball. Number 10, Washington. They are 28-46. Here's a stat for you with Washington. 34 years they have not won 50 or more games. 34 years they have not won 50 or more games. Think about that. Number 9, Philadelphia, 30-43. A complete lost year for the Sixers. No Bynum. I feel sorry for Doug Collins. They did have Allen Iverson night the other night. They had Allen Iverson bobblehead night. I mean, I guess that's a positive note for the Sixers season. Not much else to say positive about the Sixers this year. Complete lost year. Those would be your teams out of the playoffs right now. Here would be your top 8. Number 8, Milwaukee. They are 36-37, 3-8 in their last 11. I guess they want to play Miami in the first round because the way they're playing, they're going to get Miami in the first round. They're going to be swept. Number 7, Boston. They are 38-36, 3-7 last 10. They're not playing well either. No Rondo. KG is hurt. Too much age on Boston. Too many injuries. The writing is on the wall. Number 6, Chicago, 40-33. They did end Miami's big winning streak. Still no Derrick Rose, though. It looks more and more like we're not going to see Derrick Rose this year. Number 5, Atlanta. They are 42-33, 6-4 last 10. Horford and Smith playing well. Atlanta is stuck right in the middle where they've been the last few years. They're a good team. They're not an elite team. They're not a bad team. They're stuck in no man's land here. They're right in that 5th spot. That's where they've been the last few years. They can't go up. They can't go down. They're just stuck. Number 4, Brooklyn. They're 42-31, 31-6 against bad teams. That's all fine and good, but in the playoffs, you're going to have to beat good and elite teams. I don't think Brooklyn can beat the elite teams. Number 3, Indiana, 48-27. Granger out for the year. They're battling the Knicks for that 2nd seed. Very important if they meet in the 2nd round, who has home court. Number 2, the Knicks. They are 47-26. Have won 9 in a row. Melo, 50 points last night. Knicks playing a lot better. Like I just said, very, very important who gets that 2 seed, the Knicks or Indiana. Because if they meet in the 2nd round, which I think they will, who gets home court? If you have a 7th game, you want to be on your home floor. Number 1, Miami. They are 58-16. They actually beat the Spurs without LeBron and Wade. They did lose to the Knicks without LeBron and Wade, but still Miami, the class of all of college basketball, pro basketball, I should say. Over to the NBA West we go, 15-1. Number 15, Phoenix. They are 23-51. They've lost 10 of 11. They are just a complete mess. Phoenix, one of the worst Phoenix Suns teams in their history. Number 14, New Orleans. They are 26-48. They were playing decently. They were playing spoiler. Then they got bombed by the Clippers and the Heat, and that ended that. Number 13, Sacramento. They are 27-47. Within the next 2 weeks, you should know if they're staying in Sacramento or they move into Seattle. I mean, I can't believe we don't have a decision on this yet. We should know in the next couple weeks, will it be Seattle or Sacramento for the Kings? Number 12, Minnesota. They are 27-46. Believe it or not, this is the most wins Minnesota's had at home since Kevin Garnett left. Here's the kicker. They're 18-19 at home. So they're 1 game under 500 at home, but this is still the most wins they've had at home since Kevin Garnett left. Wow, that's a bad stat. Number 11, Portland, 33-41. Soft, soft, soft. They are out of it. They are a bad road team. I can't believe one of the announcers on ESPN said, don't sleep on Portland. They're still in the race. Is this guy out of his mind? They're like 5 games out with 7-8 games to go. They're finished, Portland. Number 10, Dallas. They are 36-38. They all finished as well. They did have a huge win over Chicago. They didn't capitalize on it. They got ran off the court against the Lakers. Dallas is done. Number 9, the Lakers. They are 39-36. Most of their games are at home the rest of the way. They had the big win over Dallas last night. They are right now tied with Utah. Utah does have the tiebreaker. I still think the Lakers squeeze into the playoffs. We'll keep an eye on that. Those would be your teams out of the playoffs right now. Here are your top 8. Utah is number 8 at 39-36. They've won 5 in a row. They have shown signs of life. They do have all the tiebreakers against the Lakers and the Mavericks. I still think the Lakers are going to jump them, but Utah has played decently recently. They do have a big game tonight, though. Number 7, Houston, 41-33. They beat the Spurs and the Clippers. Houston is going to make the playoffs, and if you asked me that a year ago, I would have said you're out of your mind. Number 6, Golden State, 42-32. They're 25-11 at home, only 17-21 on the road. They play well in the madhouse there in Oakland. They don't play well on the road. Number 5, Memphis, 50-24. Marc Gasol is back. That's a good sign. Memphis' defense is tremendous. They only give up 90 points a game. Number 4, the Clippers, 49-26. They're 4-6 in the last 10. Need Chauncey Billups back healthy. Have to get him on the court healthy. Number 3, Denver, 50-24. They need Ty Lawson back. Just like the Clippers need Billups, Denver needs Ty Lawson. Denver can beat anyone at home. They're another team shaky on the road. Number 2, Oklahoma City, 54-20. 3-7 against San Antonio, Memphis, and Denver. You don't like that stat. You don't like that stat for Oklahoma City. They're one of the better teams in the league. I still think they're a little short of winning the title this year. Number 1, San Antonio. They're 55-19. They are in a battle with Oklahoma City right now for the top seed in the West. Right now, the Spurs are a game ahead of them. We'll see if the Spurs can hold them off. Remember, Ginobili's going to miss the rest of the regular season. We'll see him in the playoffs. They sit Duncan a lot. We'll see if the Spurs can hang on to the top seed in the West. So that's where you are in your NBA. We are coming down the home stretch. Less than 10 games to be played for each team. It's now or never to make your move for playoff spots, for positioning, for divisions, all that kind of stuff. It's now or never. All right. As far as what to watch tonight, Wednesday, what to watch, some highlighted games. As far as your NBA tonight, Knicks are in Atlanta. That's a tough back-to-back. They were in Miami last night, in Atlanta tonight. Denver at Utah, very important game to Utah. We'll see if Utah can beat a good team. They've been beating some bad teams lately. Let's see if they can beat a good Denver team tonight. NHL tonight, Pittsburgh at the Rangers. Rangers need all the wins they can get. Montreal at Philly. Dallas at Anaheim, and Minnesota at San Jose. As far as your baseball today, you got baseball all over the place. Kansas City White Sox, Texas, Houston, Detroit, Minnesota, Boston Yankees, Miami, Washington, Cubs, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Toronto, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Angels, Cincinnati, San Diego, Mets, Baltimore, Tampa, Colorado, Milwaukee, St. Louis, Arizona, San Francisco Dodgers, and Seattle, Oakland. You got baseball all over the place. You're going to be able to find a baseball game from now till November. Baseball's all over the place in this marathon of a season. So that's kind of where you guys are right now. You guys are all caught up. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. You guys, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe. Enjoy the games. I will be back with you tomorrow. We'll recap everything that went on tonight in the sports world. Maybe I'll throw a few movies in tomorrow. Friday, we'll get back to our NCAA tournament, our Final Four, which had about a week off here. So you guys, once again, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe. Enjoy the games tonight. I will talk to you tomorrow, Thursday. Take care.